Well, hello everyone. It is Tuesday. It's the day before the storm, and it is gorgeous out. So, I've said it before, the waiting is the worst part. I tried to talk to John this morning about maybe we should leave, but there's nowhere to go. Any hotels, they're booked because of the previous storm. Roads are damaged, the interstates are just bumper to bumper, and so we decided we're going to stay put. Now, this is what scares me about my house. We have these giant trees, and when I say giant, I mean 80 to 100 feet high. So I'm going to try and do this a little different, and just do small bits and pieces and splice it all together at the end. Hopefully you'll never have to see ugly cry face, because that would not be a pretty sight. We are expecting some house guests that they live in the Carrollwood area of Tampa, and it's actually John's daughter, my stepdaughter, and her family, her husband, his mother, and their twin boys. So we have 5 people, a cat and a dog, coming to stay with us in our little house. It's not a whole lot of bed space, but we're going to figure it out. I'm going to unbury the bed in my craft room, guest room, and let Barb, that's the mom, let her have that bed. It's not the most comfortable of beds, but for a couple of days, I think she can deal with it. We're going to give our room to Chelsea, her husband, and the 2 boys. They'll get air mattresses, and they will get the king size bed, and then John and I will get the living room. That's the only way I can think of to give everybody some privacy. So anyhow, this is my first update. It is Thursday about 1:30, or not Thursday, it is Tuesday. If it was Thursday, this would be over. Hopefully. So it is Tuesday about 1:30 in the afternoon, and I finished my pattern test for the Chunky Mon, the Egg Nurse, in some nice pretty pinks. And I got, sorry if the camera's shaking because I'm kind of trying to hold it, my black and white kitty done. This one was the hardest one of the 3, only because it was in black. And the black felt stiffer and not as smooth and silky. So, that is my update for now. I will check back in. Well, good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, and it is about 10 o'clock in the morning. We are still waiting for whatever to happen. It is raining outside, but a drizzle, like a constant, steady drizzle. We haven't really started to see any winds or anything yet. Still waiting for our company to arrive. Don't mind my messy office. They're on their way now. They decided that since the storm was predicted to come so much later in the day, tonight, that they would spend the night in their own beds last night. So they're on their way now. We're as ready as we can be. So, on crochet business, last night and part of yesterday, I was working on my Hexie sweater, and I got as far as round 18 on that second sleeve, and I'm like, just doesn't feel quite right to me. So I got out the first sleeve and oh my goodness, my tension was so tight, I had to frog out the whole sleeve. So I have a pile of yarn just here on my desk. I don't want to move it. That's why we're sitting in here. And I had to restart. This feels much better. And every couple of rounds or so, I'm measuring to make sure my tension is still on track. So, yeah, I frogged the entire sleeve at round 18 out of 22 rounds. Go figure. Okay, so I'll just update later and see what's going to happen. Watching the news, the weather, they keep changing things, pushing things back, moving things forward, heading it south, heading it north. You just don't know what to believe. It's all just, let's wait and see what happens. All right, you guys, I'll see you in just a bit. So you guys, it is getting close to 4 o'clock and starting to pick up a little. It's getting windy. It's been raining most of the day. Power's only flickered once. I'm under the carport. So I'm under the carport and trying to get the dogs out to do their business because with my house guests came another cat and another dog. Poor cat's scared to death. Whoa. That was loud. Hiding under the bed, and the dog is huge. He could pass for a horse. If I wasn't under the carport, I mean that hit the roof of the carport here, that would have hit my car. Here comes this big old beast. Come on. Come on. Hi, Oreo. Settle down. Oh, don't shake on me. Oh, sorry about the camera movement. So I have been steady working on my second sleeve of my sweater, and I think I am on like round 14. So I'm getting there. And I am making sure that I am staying loosey-goosey with my stitch so that I don't have to frog it again. So, let's see on my tires. Hopefully these dogs have done their business. I'm going to go back inside now because I don't want to get hit by anything. Yeah, so it's a little after 6 and we're still waiting. Fortunately, we still have power. starting to get some standing water. Yeah, so it is a little bit after 6, just checking in. Like I said, we still have power. We're getting some wind gusts. It's raining. I'm still working on that sweater sleeve. I'm almost out of my skein of yarn, and now I'm gonna have to figure out and try and remember, where did I put the rest of my yarn? I don't know. But yeah, I am so bored. So bored. My porch is really wet. And this is our company. That's Oreo. And there's poor Flash. They're all wet and smell like wet dogs now. But he's pretty chill. He's a big dog. I think he's part cow or something.
This has become, before this storm, 2 hours from now, it's going to be really intense.
We just had a really big gust. I'm getting wet.
In the sleep mode, they won't take my power from the place.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, no sooner did I say we still had power, the power is now gone. So that's like the end of crochet for me because I can't see. It's gonna be a long night, you guys. Long, long night. And it's only, what, 6:35 or something like that? I don't know. Well, good morning, everybody. It's the morning after. But you do get to see I am so freaking tired face. That was some scary, scary crap. The wind was just, I can't even imagine being closer to where the storm was. I hardly got any sleep. If I'm lucky, 2 hours. It is currently about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you what happened. Okay, this, believe it or not, there are 2 cars underneath that. It came down from way up there. My mailbox is toast. This is the other end of the tree. You can barely even see that there's cars under there. Way off in the distance there is another tree. You guys, we're a bunch of idiots. It's so warm in the house that last night the adults, we were all sitting on the porch there. At the exact moment that tree came down. And everybody ran but me. I just sat there. I was like,
It's frozen.
there was no fight or flight. It was freeze. And oh my God, it was so scary. But this black car that you see is my stepdaughter's car. And on the other side of that is Jenna's car. The ground is so squishy, I don't want to walk through it to get a better angle, but oh my God. This was some scary ass crap. Scary. You should be snapping pictures now. Oh my goodness. Look out, Tote. It almost looks like she had a head-on collision. She did, with an oak tree. Oh, she has the boy! Good morning! Was he already in bed when this happened? My headlight. Pieces. Yeah, it looks way worse in person than it does on camera. But like, this is debris on the other side of the house. Oh my gosh. And this is a different angle of this tree. There's the other car. Oh my gosh. Got times now that we didn't used to have. Oh my gosh. I'm so tired. Oh my gosh, would you just please be careful? You are not a spring chicken anymore, dear.
All right.
It's right there, might be able to get in there.
That's why they have those big logs right there. I'm like, oh, right there, let's clear it out real
Is this one holding enough tip? Maybe I'll cut it from down here and get that out of the way. Warm up again. Down there.
Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, October 11th, I think, and it is about 6 a.m. Pitch dark outside. Still no electricity. We were successful in getting that giant branch off of the two cars yesterday. Jake and Chelsea, the twins, and Grandma. Jake rode with the tow truck driver to take the car back to their house. It does start. It might be fixable. I don't know. I hope so. And I drove the others back to their house in Tampa. Now, I have to say, I was a little surprised. From what I saw in our area, it looks like I got the worst of the damage. I'm sure I didn't, but that's what it looked like in the route that I took. But heading down the main strip, going towards the interstate, the first main strip, I only saw 3 sections that the power lines were out that had trees on them, you know, between pole and pole. Then we get on to the next main route. I think that was a mosquito, I hope. And get on to the next main route. I didn't see any down power lines. There was no flooding on that road, which I fully expected because that's right near the Withlacoochee River. And got on the interstate. Traffic was a little heavy, but it kept moving. Get into Tampa and had to get onto Hillsborough Avenue. And, you know, it'd be like, this light works, but this light doesn't work. And this one works, this one doesn't. And you're supposed to treat the intersections that have a non-working traffic light as a 4-way stop. Well, most people do, some people don't, so you have to be super, super careful. And we get to one section of that road and it is totally underwater. And now we have to take a detour and it's left, right, left, right, left, right. You know, you're just weaving through this neighborhood. And Chelsea had to pull up GPS because weaving through all that neighborhood, even she didn't know where we were at. But we finally made it to her house. And I'm like, okay, you guys, I am not taking that route home. I'll never find my way back to Hillsborough. Just get me to the Veterans Expressway, which I wanted to take on the way down there, but Jake insisted that we do 75. So there were 2 turns. I turned left off their street, turn left at the first light, and just go straight ahead, and it takes me on the Veterans Expressway. I had absolutely no problems. Veterans Expressway was completely clear. I barely saw any down trees on that. Made it all the way back up to Brooksville, no problems. Headed back, east towards my house, still no problems. Hardly any downed power lines. But yet, here we are, still sitting in the dark. Now, according to the outage map for my electric company, we should have had power back on the 10th at 11 p.m. And it says they're just estimates. It may take longer, but it didn't happen, obviously. And then I try to check the outage map this morning, and of course I have no internet until John is up and he starts up that little generator again, and I can plug my Wi-Fi back in. Which, let me tell you, I am amazed that I still have that. I think I already said, we have to take that disc down because it can't withstand the winds. Well, John forgot. We were busy prepping for all kinds of everything. And when he remembered, it was too late. The winds were too high. It was too dangerous because it's way up high. And he has to get on to the roof of the house to get to it. So I was amazed that it was still here. And then when he turned the generator on for the first time to plug the refrigerator in, I plugged the modem, router, whatever that thing is called, into it, and it still worked. I was absolutely amazed. But we can't, you don't have enough fuel because you can't get fuel yet, at least not around here. You can't run it all the time. So I just get it for a couple hours at a time. So when he gets up, he'll turn it on to try and save what's in the fridge. And then I'll get to hopefully see. But the outage map, long story short, the outage map was not coming up with my 1-bar cell signal so that I can take a look and see if their estimate was updated. So, oh my gosh, I slept like a log last night. I was so exhausted, just exhausted. I had maybe 2 hours sleep the night before, the night of the storm. So, I think the power company saying the 10th might have been a really ambitious estimate, since that was, the night of, I guess, because the storm came in the middle of the night, or, completely left the area at some point. But on my route, I didn't see one single power truck working on lines anywhere, all the way to Tampa, in Tampa, all the way back. I didn't see one truck working on power lines. Very disappointing. So, needless to say, I didn't get any crocheting done yesterday. So this isn't going to be a really fun video for anybody. I don't have anything interesting to show you. Anyhow, I'll check back in a little bit, and hopefully soon I'll have some power. Well, good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, I think, about 8 o'clock in the morning. Temperature is wonderful. It'd be nice if it would stay like this all day. It's about 68 degrees, and I wish it would stay like this all day, because we still have a ton of work to do. Just a ton. So, yesterday, I'm like starving, and we were told that the McDonald's up in town had power and they were open. So I mentioned that I would like to go up and get some breakfast. Well, then everybody decided they wanted to go. We're all getting stir crazy being stuck here. So we venture into town, and McDonald's did not have power. 2 gas stations were open, and the lines were so long they had police directing traffic. And of course, we have to cross through this line in order to get food. I mean, Burger King was open. I haven't eaten at Burger King in years. I do not care for Burger King. But I thought, okay, the breakfast can't be as bad. So we go, and their drive-through line is huge. So we just parked and we walked inside. Go inside, you get waited on faster. And, you know, you're in and out faster. So we ordered 4 breakfasts and some drinks, and oh my gosh, got John some coffee, because was he grumpy? I'm like, give me an extra large, because that man is grumpy. So, yeah, food was cold. Coffee was lukewarm. It wasn't great. Oh my goodness. But hey, we got to eat. That was the important part. And then we had to stop, and John needed to buy another chainsaw because he broke his chainsaw trying to cut up all this stuff in the yard. And I swear it looks like we haven't put a dent in all the debris. Mainly because these big giant branches came down, and then by the time you trim off all the stuff to get to the big part of the branch, it's just a mountain. It's a mountain. And the fire pit has water in it, so it's getting down there though. Which is a good indication that we'll have a working septic system again. My goodness. And he's gonna try and start burning today, because there's nowhere else for this to go. It's so much we can't even pile it by the road and wait for the county to come pick it up. It is a lot. So, yeah, also yesterday, Jenna and I went over to John's sister's house. We needed a shower badly. It'd already been a couple of days, but after being out there sweating to death, trying to help with cleanup, it was like, oh my God, I can't stand. I have to get this off of me. So we gave her a call. She said, come on over. They have power. They have working plumbing, and they have no internet. So apparently whoever they use for a service, they have some lines or something down over there. So I have done no more crocheting. I was working on that sleeve for my hexie cardigan, and then we lost power, and then there was just too much to do. I just haven't been able to do it. But I was supposed to be coming to you this weekend with like some fun craft fair stuff. You know, Sue and I were supposed to have our market. They canceled it. They gave us a choice. We can schedule another event or get our money back. And not quite sure if they're going to be able to do the other 2 weekends this month that they're supposed to have. And even if they did, they're booked if people can show up. I think Plant City is in Polk County, and Polk County got the I one over top of Polk County. So I'm sure they're in really bad shape over there. I don't get to see the news, so I am not real current on what is going on out there. So Sue had sent me a text message, because at this point, that's the only way I can communicate. I get notifications on my phone, but then when I try to read the notification, it won't let me, and then it won't let me respond to the notification. But with my little 1 bar that I'm getting for a cell signal, I can do most of the time a text message. No pictures, can't send pictures, unless I get my little allowance of Wi-Fi when John turns the generator on to keep the freezer cold. So when that happens, I plug in the modem router, whatever that is, and I get like maybe an hour or so sporadically throughout the day that I can try and respond. But I find myself spending most of that Wi-Fi time trying to get information, like pulling up Seco's outage map. That's the power company, Seco. And we actually did see trucks out there working yesterday. Apparently, the main route that I took when I went to Tampa, I didn't see many lines and stuff down. But if you were to go back into the neighborhoods, that's where all the power lines are down at, is around the people's houses and stuff. So looks are definitely deceiving. It didn't look that bad taking the main route, but going into the neighborhoods, pretty rough. So I don't know. I'm hoping for power today. There were 2 trucks on my street yesterday when Jenna and I were coming back from our showers, and then they left. And I didn't get any lights. I was like, please don't leave. So by the time you see this, we'll probably be on to our next hurricane. I hope not. Oh, that was a joke. That was a very bad joke. But I mean, that's really all I have for an update today. I don't know if you're interested in seeing the mess in my yard. I mean, you kind of saw it already. It's just, oh my gosh, there's just so much. Anywho, I'm going to go, and I'll be back again in a millisecond for you, but probably maybe later tonight or tomorrow. I don't know. But I am like, definitely have come to the conclusion I could never live the Amish life without all the luxuries of everything. That wouldn't happen. I would never have survived. Well, I probably would have, because I wouldn't know the difference. I was gonna say I would never have survived, like before electricity and air condition. But I would have, because I wouldn't have known the difference. But that's just one luxury in life I refuse to get rid of, is my AC. Anyhow, we will talk again very, very soon. Well, good morning, everyone. It is now Sunday. Oh, my goodness. We finally, yesterday about 5:30-ish, I think, got our power back. Yay! So, gosh, what a mess I have on my hands. I had to move things around in this room to accommodate our house guests that we had for the storm. And I was working on the second sleeve for my Hexicardi sweater. Well, I told you I had to frog it all out. Well, I redid that, and much better. It's loose. It's got the drape to it. I must have been like really tense, because my tension was very tight, and it was way small. So I had to pull out 18 rounds and redo it. Well, now I'm at like 16 and maybe a third of a round. And I can't find where I put my yarn, because I moved everything around. I've looked in the obvious spots, and it's not there. So, back burner again until I find my yarn. It's in here. I just am not quite sure where, because I made a mess on top of my mess I already had to accommodate. Anywho, so yeah, we got our power back. Thrilled to death about that. Forgetting to take down the Starlink dish. Thank goodness it survived and it still works. We're starting to get used of our plumbing back. And then we wake up this morning to another problem. It's not over yet for us. Oh my goodness. I could just cry. So we get up this morning and Jenna's already up because she potentially might have had to go to work. She went yesterday to, she works 2 part-time jobs. And one of them is at Family Dollar. So she went to Family Dollar and then they had no power. And they got 4 inches of water inside the store and there was still standing water in the store. So her and 3 other people, they were trying to clean up the mess. Well, they couldn't see anything because their only windows are the front doors. So she calls and says, can we bring the headlamps, you know, the flashlights that you wear on your head? And so we had 2 that we could find. I took them up to her. That whole route is just water everywhere. The roads are clear, but the big pastures, because it's like a farm area, they're just flooded. The flea market, Webster Flea Market, it's famous for like antiques and vintage items and stuff. It's flooded, both sides of the street. So I drop them off for her. I come back home. Now, mind you, I'm getting very, very low on gas. I have just under a quarter of a tank. Now, it would have been fine if I wouldn't have had to make that trip to Tampa and back. I wouldn't have been worried about it. So about 9:30-ish, she calls and says they can't do anything else because of the water. And they can't see and they need a pump to get it out. And they didn't have power yet. So I went to pick her up. Then she needed to go to Walmart because her boyfriend's home was completely flooded. He's got 2.5 to 3 feet of water in his house. He has no clothes or anything like that. So we're going to go to Walmart to get him a couple of changes of clothes. You know, some socks, some underwear, a pair of dry shoes, that type of thing. On a limited budget. So I figured, well, while you run in Walmart, I'll sit in the gas line. Well, that station that had gas the day before with the massive lines no longer had fuel. Yay. So the only station up there were 3. The only station up there that still had fuel was Murphy, which is the Walmart gas station. And I'm like, okay, well, that line doesn't look too bad until we turn into the parking lot and see that the line for the gas is all the way weaving through the Walmart parking lot. And I'm just like, I want out of here. I just don't want to be up here in this mess. So we run in, get what she needs, or he needs, and we leave. Well, we're close to her other work now at the dungeon where my plushies are at. So I asked her, do you want to stop in there? So we stopped there and there's a Pizza Hut in that little strip plaza. So we ordered a pizza for lunch so that we'd have some kind of warm food. And while we waited, we were hanging out in the dungeon and I'm looking to see, okay, what kind of items do I need to replace, if any? And they sold 3 of my plushies while I was there. 2 of the chunks and the baby unicorn that I made out of the Dollar Tree yarn. It's one of Shannon's Snuggle Bean Crochet's patterns. It turned out really small because we did it in the Just Chenille. It turned out, it was a pretty one. I'm sure some of y'all remember. So they were selling while I was there, and I'm looking at the chunks and I'm going, okay, I sent 14 to begin with. When I first got there was 12, now there's 10. And I was trying to figure out which ones sold so that I couldn't replace them. And I'm like, I don't know. I can't tell. Without seeing the pictures of the other ones, I can't tell because I don't know my Pokemon. But then I was talking to one of the owners, and they said Psyduck, you know, the one that had the little hands up on his head, it had sold. I'm like, cool. Well, then Poliwag, I don't know, it was blue, white belly, and it had the little spiral circle on the belly. That one sold while I was there, and then somebody got the fire lizard that's, you know, supposed to be Charmander while I was there. So there's that. And then, of course, the market was canceled for Sue and I this weekend. I'm not sure what's going to happen next Friday because here's our other problem coming up. The Withlacoochee River, a long stretch through 3 counties, I think it is flooding, and it has not crested. So we're watching that, but we get up this morning and we go outside and the whole yard is flooded. Well, not the whole yard, but a good portion of it that we had to wait for 3 days for it to dry up just from the rainwater. And it wasn't completely dry, but there wasn't any standing water on the ground. You know, it was still squishy if you walked on it. Is now flooded all the way over towards John's garage, which is a freestanding building from the house. And it's from the neighbor's pond. Their whole yard is flooded. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So we have the river, which is approximately half a mile to 3/4 of a mile up the road, that hasn't crested. Her pond, which is a decent sized pond. And just a couple of weeks ago, I was saying to Jenna, I've never seen this pond this high. Well, it has now overflowed its banks and in her yard and in our yard. And I haven't looked to see if the street is covered. Oh my goodness. I am over this. I am just over this. It's one thing after another. So, yeah, I didn't get much crocheting done this week. This was my test that I did before the storm came. This was my tuxedo cat that I finished up. I had started it and showed you guys the head last time. And then I worked on this sleeve until I ran out of yarn. And now I got to figure out where I put it. Ugh. Anyways, that's the update. That is the story of my life in the past week. I just wanted to let everybody know we're still here. It's not over for us yet, but we are still here and in fairly decent spirits. So while I still have power, I'm going to take advantage and get this all pieced together and upload it. The power company is still working in the area. I still see trucks going up and down the street and all over the place. So I want to get this done before anything happens. Just in case. Yeah. So hopefully, I'll be back again soon. We will see. So, I'll see you guys, hopefully, in another video.